Good evening, everyone. Just admitting everyone into the webinar. Thanks everyone that's joining so far. There's a few there. We've had a few more join today, which is really great. I'm Hayley from the Mustard EQUINET team, and we've got Adam and Amanda here, who are going to be sort of sharing their experiences a little while. I can see Clint as well from the Mustard team. Hi, Clint. And Noreen's here from the EQUINET team. Just something to as we sort of put up on the screen there, hopefully you can obviously all see my screen, but yeah, just note that this session is being recorded, so your participation indicates that you're happy to be part of that recording. You are all on mute. That was kind of sort of set up when you came in, which you'll be able to see, but we do have the video. It's defaulted to everyone's faces or videos being on. So if you don't want to be, on the video, just turn it off. So that's pretty much all there. So there's 12 so far, which is really great. So we'll just wait for a few more. It'd be great actually if people in the chat section, if they maybe wanted just to let us know where you're sort of dialing in from tonight. That's always good to sort of see and and see where everyone's from. So if you're happy to do so, just maybe pop that in the chat, and then we'll get started. I think there's people can sort of join as they go along. Noreen, I might just get you, if you don't mind, whilst I sort of start with the presentation, if you can just let people in as they come, that would be really great. And we'll just, we'll kick off. So what we'll cover today, so obviously just a welcome now, a bit of an overview of the importance of scheduling for a business. And then we're going to invite Adam and Amanda to give their insights on how they're using the EQUINET scheduling for your business. And then we've got a demonstration of the actual scheduling feature in the app, so you can kind of see it firsthand, how it works and the different elements of that feature. And then we'll move on just to talk about some future plans for the scheduling feature, because we're always looking for, to improve and, add new things, based a lot on research and feedback from you guys, which is really great. We get lots of feedback, which is really good. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A with Adam and myself, which will then open up the floor to anyone to have any questions, either for obviously Adam and or from myself from the EQUINET perspective, and then we'll wrap it up. So just in terms of the asking questions, it's just a little screenshot there, talking to myself. But so there's a chat button there, which you can send questions through throughout the session. If you have any questions that pop up as you're hearing things, Noreen's available to answer those questions, or we may leave that till the end and we can add those into the questions that we ask at the end. And then when we do get to the end, with the live questions, I guess you could say, there's a sort of a reaction button there, which I've sort of highlighted. So if you do want to ask a question, just raise your hand, press the raise hand button, and then we'll invite you to ask your question live, and then we get you to unmute so that we can hear your question. So as I've said, so I'm Hayley. I'm sort of the marketing coordinator for the app. I've been working on the app since it began, so 5 years ago now. And we've got Adam here alongside with Amanda, his partner, who's also been using the app for probably pretty much from day one as well, maybe a little bit later. And then we've got the EQUINET team, that are on board here, as well as the Mustard, some of the Mustard team as well. Just a little bit of an overview, I guess, as to how how scheduling can make your business more efficient. It really can play a crucial role in improving various aspects of the business. So there's things that, in terms of things like enhanced time management. So, if you've got your schedule in place, you can reduce overlaps, so avoiding that double booking saves time and resources. if you've got your locations and when you're planning your day, and you sort of use your scheduling for that, you can sort of book those in based on where your clients are. So then obviously you can kind of go from one to the other pretty straightforward, without having to kind of go up and then back and around. In terms of just with your clients, better communication. So a responsive booking system makes it easier to communicate your appointments to customers and then get confirmation from them as well. So with the new EQUINET RSVP system, this very much comes into play, because you can send out those appointments, and if you get that feedback and that confirmation, they've seen it, they've booked it in. And if they do need to change it, then it gives you the ability, as we say, to be able to respond if they do need to change a booking. And it's also increased flexibility as well. So if you've got that schedule in place, you can see sort of easily what you have and where you might have some availability. It means that you can sort of make some adjustments if you need to, if there's, clients cancel or something crops up, or you can obviously have that ability to do that. And then also just with your team as well, just looking at where team members are going to be going and what jobs you have got coming up, and then you can allocate people as to where you need to be if you obviously work in a team. And then also just having that system in place, it means everyone that's involved will know where they need to be, and just in terms of communications, it makes things a lot more efficient. So efficient scheduling systems and tools can help with these benefits, such as EQUINET, and now we'll sort of move on to speak to someone that's been using the scheduling and get some first-hand experience, I guess. So I'll just obviously introduce you to Adam. I think probably a lot of you would know Adam, but maybe if you'd like to give a little bit of background on yourself, and alongside Amanda as partner as well, that'd be great.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming tonight. Adam Morris is my name. Back in 1990, I done my apprenticeship at Ingham Bloodstock at Warwick Farm and Belmont Park at North Richmond. I was there for a bit over 4 years and then moved to the Central Coast. Then there for about 6 to 12 months, then moved to Tamworth and been here ever since. I've been lucky enough to shoe most of the race course here at Tamworth for about 20 years. And plus working with the vets and a few other very high qualified farriers. With the EQUINET, I always found it very hard before this came along to document everything, especially when you're doing that racehorse line or high performance horse line. You want a bit of paperwork behind yourself, and this app has really just pushed it forward and made life so much easier.
Okay, great. And when did you start? How long have you sort of been? I think I kind of touched on that a little bit, but I guess we can kind of go over that again. How long have you been using the app? How did you sort of hear about the app?
Well, it came up on social media, and then I just pulled the app down and started using it, and that's about 5 years ago when it first started. Helped me out a lot when I was doing a lot of racehorses. So I had pictures of the feet, what we were dealing with, what they're getting, how they traveling through the preparations, leading into the big races. And I just end up going from there to there, and it just made life so much easier, especially when you could take photos of the horses, their brands, so you never got the wrong horse out the shoe. You knew what shoes were going on the horse. And it just been kicking on from there. So we started off when it just started, and it's just been improving app. It's made our life so much easier. Okay,
great. And in regards to the scheduling, you've I know it's sort of always been something that you've used, but obviously it's evolved more recently with the RSVP. How have you found that?
The scheduling's made life a lot easier for us. Like a lot of farriers get blamed for being unorganised and unreliable, and that was me. I was probably the worst one. I won't hide it. But after going to this scheduling and realising we are probably not the most unorganised ones, it's a lot of our clients. They expect us to get there. We try our best to get there. We don't, but now we've got this scheduling. They get reminders. There's no excuse for them. We can pre-book everything. And And, you know, it's cut our week, 7-day a week job back to probably 5.5 day a week or even 5 days. So we got a lot more time at home to do stuff and have a life.
Okay.
And it's just so much easier. There's nothing, you get home, you don't have to ring people back. They're getting SMSs. They know you're coming the next day. Horses are in stables. Just makes life so much easier for everyone.
Oh, that's great. And I guess, mate, it'd be good to sort of you take us through a typical day. You know, you're sort of, I know, well, it sounds like you have a pretty varied days depending on sort of what horses you're working on. But yeah, it'd be great to hear sort of how it works.
Yeah. Yep. At the moment, I shoot a lot of different styles of horses, a lot of high performance horses. So average days hop up like everyone does. I have a cup of coffee. While I'm having a coffee, I'm looking at my scheduling. Make sure I've got the right shoes, looking back. Make sure my shoes are on the horses, make sure I get everything right for the next couple of days. So I can go through and just make sure there's nothing I haven't missed before I even leave home. So if I need to restock trailers or anything like that, I can. And if someone hasn't confirmed appointment, you can sort of double check before you drive there. And that's about it. And then while you're there, you just do your entries and take photos of feed if you need to. Make sure they're rebooked for the next time, or they'll message Amanda.
Yeah, that's normally I'm the one.
So they'll message her, they'll rebook her to see what shows they got coming up. So the horses are shod like a week out from most of the major events. Or if they're going away for a bit of time, they're shod at the last minute, so they're shod for the whole duration. We got a lot of rodeo horses go north for 8-10 weeks every year, so we've got to sort of, it's a hard, like we'll shoot them at the last minute, so they try to push them out to the last, because most of them horses are not the soundest horses, so they don't want to change different farriers. Yeah, so it just works out a lot easier. Everyone knows, the client knows where we're at, and they can work around it a bit. And if someone needs to be there, that's easy because they can work it in with their work schedule as well.
Okay, great. And what feedback have you had from your sort of customers in terms of the scheduling and things?
They love it.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah. They're more organised. They're getting their horses shod when they want them shod because they're pre-booked. Like some of our horses are pre-booked 6 months in advance. And now you can pops up on there. They get their messages. They love it. It's the best thing happened to scheduling and a bit of lifetime freeness when you get home in the afternoons.
And it's definitely not hard to use because we've got elderly clients that camp drafters and they confirm the bookings. And if they can use technology, anyone can be using technology.
Very good. Okay, so yeah, I think that, yeah, I guess the last sort of question for now is, yeah, sort of what would you say to anyone sort of if you're thinking of using, I mean, I think a lot of people that are on are using the app already, which is good, but yeah, if anyone's on, if it isn't, yeah, what would you say about people thinking?
I think you should give it a try. I know you think it's hard and daunting and everything, but once you start using it and you get everything in your app, it's not that hard. Like when a horse comes in and gets shod, you look at the horse, just look at everything about the horse, where it's standing and all that sort of stuff. I get my phone out, you start your entry, and you just go on. Nothing takes any extra time now. Only thing now, we got a whole paper trail of every horse, what shoes are going on it, how it's performing, how its feet are holding up for the performance. And even horses today are at places they're gone out for a spell, they actually are bringing them back in now on the shoeing cycle, so they stay in the same cycle of everything. So it's just makes life so much easier. So I think ahead in the farrowing world, these are the things we got to get onto. Just makes life easier. Everyone's more professional, and it's not hard to use. Like I'm not a young person with technology, and I can use it, so anyone can use it.
Right. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Well, as I mentioned, we'll open up the floor at the end. So if anyone's got any questions for Adam and Amanda, we'll go through those. I just thought now would be yeah, a good time to, I guess, do some, just run you through some demos of the scheduling as we've sort of talked about it and obviously heard from people that are using it. I will just, yeah, so you obviously can see my screen. So there's just some little demos. So I'm just going to press, play and just, I guess, talk you through. I think probably a lot of you will be familiar with this. I'm hoping it's working. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so this is showing your appointment screen. There's two types of appointment. There's your service and your standard. Service is one that you would sort of link to your horses and to your contacts. If you work in a team, you can allocate team members to appointments. And then you can make a note. You can either edit and write the title in, or you can choose some of from the pre-selected ones. And then you'll be able to see there, sort of what the visual looks like. And then, you can set reminders with the appointment. So you can do that an hour, as you saw, an hour or a day before, depending on your preference. Selecting those contacts and what horses you're going to be working on. You can save that, and then you'll be able to see up the top there, you've got the invite via SMS or invite via email. So if you've got those details, you can have those ticked, and then you pop the location in, put a note there for the customer, so that they, if there's anything you want to put in there, you can add those in there as well. At the top as well, you'll be able to see a little box that says automatically create an entry. I'll sort of talk about that a little bit more later, so that's sort of optional. But that's just showing you that that appointment has been sent off. You can see the I guess the status at the bottom, so the SMS, and that gets sent off. And so that's, I guess, an example. And then the other one as well was the standard appointment. So that's, for example, if you want to block out holidays, or if you've got an appointment or something. So it's not linked to a client. It's actually it's a personal appointment. But obviously you need to add those to your schedule so that you won't overlap and book in someone when you have something else personal plans. So you've got all of that there. You can also see just the different colors as well. So if you do work in a team, you do have different colors attributed to different team members. So that also just makes it visual if you were to work in a team, for people to be able to see quite easily when, what appointments they need to be attending. Now, we've talked about the RSVP feature. So this is pretty new. We've had some really positive feedback from it, as I think obviously Adam and Amanda have already mentioned. So when you send off that appointment notification, the customer will either receive an email or an SMS. You can do both if you like, or whatever is your preference. Just make sure you untick if you only want to send it, for example, as an SMS. And then they would receive that. So they'd get that text message with all the information that we sort of showed in the previous slide. And then you, as the customer, would then confirm or decline. So this example here is we're just showing what it's like. Oh, actually, I should probably press the button so you can see what's happening. So you then, as a customer, they would confirm or decline that appointment. And then you can see on the right of the screen that that's indicating that it's been confirmed. And you can then also add it to your personal calendar as well, which we will be able to see now. So if you've got a device calendar, you can add that to there as well. It's a pretty busy day there. And then also you, as the farrier, will get a push notification to say, that person's has confirmed the appointment, and then it gets added to your onto your list of appointments. So this is the list screen that you can see. So for the month that you have coming up. And that's, in this example, you can see there it's been confirmed. You click into that specific appointment and you've got all the details in there and the fact that it's been confirmed. Obviously, if you're not getting a confirmation or a declined appointment, then that's probably the time then. That's a bit of an alert, I guess, for you to reach out to the contact and just make sure they've received it and just get a response from them or ask them to respond. in this example here, it's just showing, if your customer declines, that appointment isn't, I know probably most of the time you guys make the appointments when you're with your customers, but you may sit there and obviously invite send them all out. So this just shows kind of if from the client's perspective, if they decline that appointment. So obviously it just deletes it or crosses it out, as it were, in their email. And then you also, as the farrier, will get a push notification, which will then allow you to see what the fact that that's been declined. So this is just showing from the app perspective. It's really quite obvious when you've had a response that's a declined response. You're able to click that top bar and you go into that appointment, and as you'll see there, you can then edit that appointment. So you just click in there, amend the appointment to what available time you have, just checking your schedule, and then just follow that same process. Basically, you send that out, and the client then will hopefully confirm that appointment. So that then gets updated, and you just will get they will get I guess a status update. So they'll get the initial message, then they'll get the updated appointment if in this instance they've declined, so they get an updated one, and then hopefully they will confirm that, and they're all set for their next appointment. Just moving on to the reminders now. So this is as Adam mentioned, not only do you as a customer get the initial invitation which you confirm, but then also you can set up reminders as well. So therefore, maybe you put that appointment in a month before or 6 weeks before, so you can then, obviously it should be in their diaries, but it's obviously always good to have that reminder as well. So the same process as before, you just invite them via the SMS or via an email. And you click there if you want, so that you can remind yourself, and then you can also click to remind the customers as well, so they will get that notification that you're coming.
And that sort of saves us having to send out an extra text message or phone call chasing up whether they're still right for the appointment, because they get that reminder. That's a good point.
Okay, and then this is just the different views. So this is just your day view, and you can see now we had some feedback from when we first started that we did used to just have the subject along the top, which if it's always service, it was getting a bit confusing. So we have flipped that now to have the client's name at the top, and you can also see by the icons what type of appointment it is as well, whether it's that service appointment or if it's a standard appointment. That's just showing the different views there. You've got your list view, which is the default, and then there's a day view, a week view, and a month view. And you can, along the top, you'll be able to see the arrows, so you can click onto the next week or day, depending on what you're on. You can see that from that view as well. On that top one, there is the location, so you can click onto, if you've put a location for your client on there, you can click onto that, and then it will open up. I think it gives you the options of Google Maps or Apple Maps if you have an iPhone, and then that gives you actually your directions as well, that will connect to your car or whatever when you're driving to get you there. So I think guys, Amanda and Adam, you guys were saying the other day that you have different preferences in which views you like to view the schedule.
I like the list, and Amanda likes the day, but I like this so you can sort of look what's happening easy, and so but I think Amanda does most of the booking, so it's probably easier for her to look at the big schedule where it's only got to really look at the day. So
but that's the best thing about the app, you can use it whichever way you prefer. There's not one set way that's the only way you can look at it.
And you use the web version too, don't you, Amanda?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll come on to that. So that's got a bigger screen, obviously, than a phone. Okay, so now we're just going to move on to duplicating appointments. So I'll just show the demo of that. So this is, as you all will do, you'll have clients that you see, you know, on a recurring basis. So the way that it is set up currently is you can duplicate that appointment, and it keeps all of the previous information. So the client, the horses, all listed in there. And then you would just need to just adjust the title if you choose to, and obviously the date. And then along the bottom you can see there's numbers. So that's based on the horse's shoeing cycle. So if you know the horse's shoeing cycle is every 6 weeks, you would just click onto that number 6, and that would take you straight to 6 weeks time. So you don't have to sort of scroll week or month or etc. So yeah, that's just and the same process basically, as you can see there, as it's going through, it will just send that SMS again just to confirm that that next appointment. So it saves you having to re-enter the information each time and create a new appointment. If you're seeing, you know, obviously got your regular customers, which I'm sure that's basically what you guys will be doing. And then this final sort of demo is just showing, so this is based around, I mentioned earlier, there's a little button at the top of the appointment screen if you're wanting to automatically create an entry from an appointment. So this is what, this is what happens if you do that. So you can go into that appointment. You've got the little, so you go into there, and so you look for the service, and then you'd open it up, and then it would create that, and it would it's already created that entry, sorry. So you would just need to fill that in as you would a normal entry. So you'd add your procedures, so your shoot, whether it's a shoeing or a trim, and add any notes or any products that were used as well, any photos, as Adam mentioned before. So really good to try. So this is the way you track the horses that you're seeing, and seeing obviously also review what you did previously as well. And then that top section, is it says there, so any notes that you add there will be, you can send that export that as a report to your clients. And then the private notes is really just for as it says, private notes not included in the report, so you can kind of make any notes for yourself, just to remember next time you go to work on that horse, or what have you. So and then you would save that, and then from there you can then also invoice directly from that screen as well. So it's just those that have that preference to do. I know quite a few people do that. Others prefer to make the appointments and then make separate entries. So that's really a personal preference for how you wanting, I guess, to use it. They're just filling this out, adding the photos, examples. And so you can add with the photos, you can add as many as you if you're wanting to. You can add photos of x-rays in there as well. So it's very really great to sort of keep a record and a track of the progress and the work you've done on a horse. So that's done there. And that was just something to point out as well. And again, it's something that we've had feedback on, that sometimes when you're adding images, they're quite large files, or you're out in the field and the service isn't as good, and sort of sometimes it appears that photos have uploaded, but they perhaps haven't. So now we do have a bit of an indicator, so it can show you when they're loading, and or when they have loaded, I should say, so that you don't cancel out of that or save that entry without it being uploaded. And then this is just showing how you then go from creating that entry, and then there's the invoice button straight from the screen that you can then generate. That is if you are sort of connected to Xero or QuickBooks through there. But yeah, everything's all tied and everything's all linked together through the app. Okay, hopefully that's all. Yeah, all clear to everyone. As we mentioned, so this is the, we do also have the web app. So I know out in the field you'd be using your phone. I know a lot of people use iPads or tablets as well. But there is also now the ability to log into the same account through the web app. And as Amanda was mentioning before, with having to use this app for making the bookings, and that screen's obviously a lot bigger than on your phone, so everything's perhaps a bit easier to see, particularly if you're sort of wanting to see your week in full and where there's some gaps for you to make those appointments when you're putting them all together. So yeah, just demonstrating here the different views that there are, and then adding a new appointment. There's just the plus add appointment up the top, and yeah, basically following the same processes as we just demonstrated before. You just indicate whether it's via SMS or email, and then also whether you're wanting to do a reminder as well. So yeah, we've had some great good feedback on that version, that you can now use it on the web. So let it finish up. Storm's had lots of appointments.
The best thing about just jumping back to the duplicating appointments, when you're doing, we have a harness racing stable that we do, so they're on a 4-week schedule, and there's multiple horses every 4 weeks. You don't have, if you duplicate that appointment, that keeps all of those horses in that 4-week cycle. You don't have to go back in and manually enter them in, so it does make it a lot easier on that front as well.
Yeah, great. And I guess if you go and there's a new horse or whatever, it's you just add that horse to the appointment, so you've got them on that list.
Just add it
or
on.
Take one off, or if you need to. Yeah. Great. No, that's good. That's a good tip. It's just about setting up, I think, isn't it? It's just that initial setting up and putting them in, and then once it's all in, then then you can just, as you said, duplicate that information. We're almost done there. All right, I think we'll move on. Okay, so that's the demo. So hopefully you've all found that useful if you hadn't seen that before, or I guess maybe some things. I think there's obviously quite a few people already using it, but yeah, hopefully you've sort of seen or learned some things from there if you weren't aware of them. As I mentioned before, we're always looking to sort of improve, take feedback from you guys, which is really, which we're always really grateful to hear, and really have learned a lot, and the app has really evolved, a lot based on feedback from yourselves. I just wanted to sort of, I guess, touch on some upcoming features and improvements to scheduling. I'm not going to give a timeline of when they'll be done, but they are in plan, and as moving on, I guess an extension of the duplicating appointments. This is the recurring appointments feature that we'll look to incorporate. So whereby instead of duplicating each time, you'd be able to set these recurring appointments up. So if you, as Amanda mentioned, if you've got that client and you've got those horses and you're seeing them every 6 weeks, for example, you then can schedule it in to repeat every Wednesday, for 6 weeks, for every 6 weeks, sorry, for X amount of time, or you can do custom. So however it would fit in for you guys, and then so they would be set up, and then they've the client would then get those notifications to let them know about them as well. Multi-day and all-day appointments as well. So you'd be able to block out So, you know, if you were taking a holiday for a week, you'd be able to use that standard appointment, and you'd be able to book an all, you know, multi-days in there. Or, you know, obviously if you're spending a full day, you know, at a stud farm, for example, you could just block that whole day out, as opposed to sort of the way it is currently, where you'd have to, you know, put your 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever in there manually. Now you'd be able to just tick a whole day. That would block that out for you. So that's something else that is coming in the future. The reminders at the moment, the options are either just to remind yourself as the user, and with the customer, you would both get that. If you tick add the contacts, then you would both get the notifications. But this way, we've been looking to sort of separate them out. So you would be able to make the choice to remind yourself, or just your contacts would get the reminder if you're like, oh, it's in my schedule, I know it's there, I don't need to remind myself. Yeah, we're looking at splitting those reminders up. So that's something else that we're looking at as well. This is just as well with the size of the screen. Sometimes I guess with the phones, it can't see all that information as clearly perhaps as you would like. So we're looking at, yeah, just I guess a bit of well, we're calling them smart appointment cards that you, yeah, it would pop up just before, during, and shortly after, that allows you to see the full details. And then you'd also be able to click to fill in those entries and take the notes whilst on the job. And then this one is, yeah, just so this is set. So as I mentioned before, you do have the ability to already to automatically create an entry from the appointment if you tick that box. But this would allow you here to, yeah, if you didn't go down that route, you would be able to then still from the appointment be able to add, yeah, add an appointment. Sorry, add in an entry from the appointment itself. So that's just, yeah, something else that we're looking at doing. And then on the web app, you just would be able to, like, quick glance, yeah, tips for the day, whereby you would just hover over it and it would just pop up, yeah, a bigger screen of that particular appointment, so you'd be able to read the information. Oh, there's a little video. Yeah, so that just yeah, handy. And you know, if you've got a few sort of in a row, it just makes it a bit easier to be able to see the full details. And then the other thing as well, this is more, yeah, it's just being able to extend the filter system that there is. So filtering by type. So whether it's all your standard appointments or all your service appointments, and then if you do work in a team, you can actually, there's team members can select to just view their own schedule, so that makes it easier for the individual team members to be able to see, yeah, what where they need to be and what days and all that sort of stuff. So so that's something else as well. Yeah, so just as I mentioned, EQUINET's available to use on the mobile and web version, and yeah, so there's just gives that flexibility as to your preference and where you might be using the app, whether it's out in the field or, you know, at home in the evening doing your scheduling or invoicing, etc. So yeah, so that is yeah, the end of the demo. I will just stop sharing my screen now. And we might just, yeah, just hopefully, yeah, everyone has found that interesting, and we might just yeah, look at some questions. So I think there's a few. Let me just have a look at the questions. Hi everyone. Okay, yeah, so Greg, you've just got a question about the yeah, automatically creating a new entry. So just in the appointment, there's a little yeah, if you have a look on the app, when you create a new appointment at the top, there's just, it says automatically create a new entry, and then you would just need to tick, there's a little box there, you just tick that, and then that as it would create it for you. And then you would, that it just remembers that. So each time you do a new appointment, it will be there. If you want to turn that off, you might only want to use that for certain clients. You would just need to remember. It just remembers the last usage, I suppose you could say. So hopefully that answers that question. Hi, Scott. With invoicing, linked to, I've not heard of that one. At the moment, there's no plans at the moment to extend it out past the QuickBooks and Xero. That you are obviously at the moment able to export the invoices that you create in the app, and then you can upload those into other accounting providers. So that's kind of just the way that you'll be able to do that now. I think that was all. So I guess I'll just open up the floor to see if anyone had any questions for Adam and Amanda, or for myself. Yeah, if there's anyone there, don't be shy. There's another new message. So as I think I just mentioned, there is just a react button on there. So if you were wanting to, wanting to ask a question, just maybe click on that and just do the raise hand. Let me just see, there's another message in the chat. So Darren just said, working in poor or no reception areas, how do you input information in these situations? So even so basically whatever you can still use the app. You would just need to enter that information, and then when you get into a better reception area, then it will sync. So everything will be saved on your device, and then you would just need to sync it once you get into a better reception area. The app sort of very much visually sort of tells you whether you are syncing, or I'm sure you probably, those that are using it, you'll be able to see the yellow sort of flash along the top that shows it is syncing. You'll be able to tell if it is fully synced, because at the top where your name, abbreviated name is, it's got a green box around it. That means that that's fully synced. If there is any, if you are in a poor or it's struggling to sync, then it will give you a sort of a red alert, that you are offline or you are sort of in a bad service area. I do know, I think I've sort of mentioned before, an option you could try is to go into flight mode, and then just input the information there, and then when you go back into good service area, just turn off flight mode, and then obviously it will reconnect to the internet and or the Wi-Fi or 5G, and will upload and sync to your app.
We have terrible service here, so that is something we do deal with, and it still syncs as soon as service does. Or the information does sync.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I guess something else to mention with the syncing too, with the, if you're using the web app or you're using multiple devices, you can, it syncs across. So if you're doing something on, so for, Amanda and Adam as an example, if Adam's entering information in the app, and then Amanda's sort of also doing work of, it just syncs and things like that. So, so that's a good option, good to know. I guess the only thing with that is that just sort of something to be aware of. If there's multiple people working on it, you'd be better to set up a Teams account whereby you all have your own account and you're all connected, because and you're all linked, in that team, because if you were to work at the same time on one account, it can override each other. So that's the sort of the advice on that. Thanks, that's really kind. Thank you, Scott. Does anyone else have any questions? Any other questions? No.
Hey, Hayley, it's Dan Morgan here. How you going?
I'm good, thank you. I can't see you.
Hang on, I'll turn my camera on.
No, I just, sorry. No, that's okay. I've just got a long line, like I can't see everyone's name. Sorry. Hello, how are you? Sorry,
right.
Daniel.
Yeah, good. Hey, mate, just wondering, like, I've sort of been looking at, like, procrastinating, I'll say that, about going on to that. And I guess this is probably a question for Adam and that too. Like, I fly solo, so for me to enter, like, to go into using the data and that, like, initially when I first started to go into the app, it took me a little while. Any suggestions on or thoughts on how I can, like, the initial startup or setup system
Yeah.
for the app?
Yeah, so we do offer an onboarding sort of not program, just service. So if you do have details of your clients and horses, if you put the contacts in, we can, and you provide us with the file, we can upload that so that you don't have to add them all in. So that is something that we can offer if that would be helpful. But probably Daniel, I would suggest, if you're happy to, I can maybe reach out and we can have a chat offline and sort of see how we can I guess how we can maybe help and with that process of getting those horses on there or what have you. So
just that, like, say the horses and clients, like, I mean, I love the concept you guys have, but when I'm traveling solo, like, it is like, for the time it takes me to sit there, at some days and some stops, I just don't have that time. And I have got to the point where I'm sort of thinking I'll maybe need to have somebody travel with me for a couple of weeks to set that up. But the initial information. But I was just sort of wondering, like I say, with you guys, or like I say, Adam's. And what his thoughts are on that.
Only thing I can suggest is when you're trying to get all your data, and you can get your clients with horses' names in at night or on a weekend, just put it all in. And just go from there. I know it takes a bit of time, but it will quicken it up in the end. And if you want to play around with it, if you can put some people, say someone's family's horse in there, what you shoe, and just play with it and send it to them and just do silly things with it, so you can get a bit quicker on it. That's what I found. Like, if you can get all your horses' names, or where you're going the next day at night when you're sitting down, you can just put your horses' names in. So when you get there, it's not a big job.
Yeah, okay. Because I mean,
unless you're doing, like, a bit different. If you're doing big mobs of trims or something, that might be different. But it doesn't take that long once you start doing it. I know when I was doing a lot of racing stables, I would take the picture of the horse's brands and put the name down and take the picture of the brands, not the horse, because, you know what I mean? If you, like, a lot of all them horses can look a bit the same. So it looks, if you had the brand, you knew you're doing the right horse.
Yeah. I must admit, I did have it. Initially, I had a couple of racing stables that I was doing here, but I'll admit I struggled to, like, those 1 and 2 horse stops. That was where I struggled to get that information on, because just sitting down, and I guess by the time I come home, the last thing I wanted to do is sit in front of a computer to upload that information.
Yeah. I only can say, if you can do it on your phone when they're leading, like, say you pull up and they bring the horse to you, and it might be Poppy, just put it straight in as they're leading it towards you. And then, because it's only once, you only got to do it once, put all the stuff in it. And Poppy's the mare, so you do all that. So you don't have to, like, go and fill everything out exactly straight away. But as long as the name's in there, it's a mare, a colt or a gelding or whatever, at least them sort of things. And then when I go, say it's a certain size, we put that down. And then later on, I think it will quicken your day up and make life easier.
Yeah, okay. No, awesome. Thank you.
You just got to train yourself. Like, have your phone in your shoe box, or know what I mean, or somewhere close to you where you can do it. Like, while shoes getting hot, or the horses, know what I mean? Something you got 30 seconds, just put it in.
I know it's not.
Than I. Don't worry, it does look that good, but you can fix it up later on. But that's the thing. Like
Yeah,
the next time you come there, you might put something else in there about the horse.
Yep.
Like you might put in there, it's poppy here, whatever, and then you might put, oh, don't tie it up, or just leave it loose, or it needs a mate, or like in the notes of it. And before you you go there a couple of times, next thing you know everything about this horse before you get out of the car, because it comes up on your phone.
yeah, okay, yep.
Like before I hop out of the car, I sort of look at it and go, right, well, this is what the horse and this is what I'm sort of going to do before you even get there.
Yeah, no, awesome, thank you. Yeah, it's just I guess that initial, just trying to work out how I can, I guess, set that initial setup process going. Whether there's, because like I do like the concept, but yeah, just time.
I think the biggest thing you just got to train yourself to do it first.
Yeah,
up.
yep.
Yeah, like when you hop out,
like anything, isn't it? Any new app.
Yeah. And once you do it for a few days, it'll just come second nature to you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
No dramas.
Like I use my iPad more probably than my phone. I just leave it in the trailer, but when the horse comes there, I just attack it, like do it straight away. Or if your shoes are getting hot and you've got a couple of seconds to do it, just finish it off then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like it will save you time in the long run. I know it doesn't, you don't think so, but it will, and it will make life easier. Just on little things.
Like for me at the moment, the scheduling side of things will be, will just be a godsend as far as getting that organised, because that's probably one of the things that I know I struggle with at times is just that scheduling and so yeah, that was why I was keen to look at this tonight for.
Oh, that's good. Well, no, hopefully, that's been helpful. Daniel, and a few people have put their, their processes too in the chat as well, just sort of giving their feedback as to what they did. And like Greg just said, when I get a new horse, just put in the details at night and get the photos later. And Scott said, I've got all my clients' information, and then when they book them in, ask for their information on there. So, but good for a rainy day.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a few of them up here in North Queensland at times.
Okay.
No, much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
No, that's all right. Yeah, and if you're happy to, I'll reach out to you as well, and we can have a chat as well, a bit more about it.
Yep. Thank you.
I think, just Kai's just got a question about, which I'm going to have to look whilst I'm doing this now. Kai, you've asked the question.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at.
Let's have a look. Let me see. So Kai just asked, when putting in a new appointment and you click the date and the time option, let me just see. Okay. So the dates, how do you actually go about selecting the date? So you have to, so along the top, it does look like you need to click in the date and the time. You would just have to click, I guess, just sort of scroll to what time you want, and then and then just kind of underneath where that date is, you would just need to sort of click into there, and it will put that date in. We are going to be adding some lines in there, so that is as well also on the to-do list, which will probably make it a little bit easier to know the date when you do that. So that's just something that will be being added in. But hopefully that helps answer your question. So I think, well, that's great. Thank you so much for everyone's questions. Hopefully that was useful. And obviously if anyone has any questions outside of tonight, you can always go to the website equinetapp.com and find out more information. You can book a demo too. There's the ability just to book a demo. It would normally be with me. So for half an hour, just have a bit of a general chat and sort of see how we, if you've got any questions about the app. If you are already using the app, you can reach out through the live chat and put your questions in there, and we will respond to those. And always, as we said, always looking for feedback on sort of how you're using it and things, ways to improve. Obviously the new RSVP has been really well received, and it's been really, I think, really helpful for you guys from feedback to just be able to get those responses from your clients, to know they've got the appointment and they've confirmed it or declined it, and then that, you know, obviously you've got that reassurance and you've got it locked in that they've approved that appointment. So yeah, thank you so much to Adam and Amanda for coming on and sharing your experiences with us tonight. That's been really great. And thanks to the rest of the EQUINET and Mustard team as well, and Noreen sort of answering and things like that. So yeah, but hopefully that's all. Yeah, thanks again for joining us tonight, everyone. Hope you found that useful, and yeah, be in touch soon if anyone wants any feedback. So thanks very much. Good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Thanks.
No worries at all.
Bye.